How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions while you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Sometimes I tuck my knees into my chest and I lean forward. That's just how I roll. Get it? But anyways, today we're going to be talking about OCGN. I have some big time updates that I want to share with you guys, along with an analyst price target upgrade, which is great to hear. But before we get started, we have to jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is a technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action we saw with OCGN today. For the most part, hey, it showed some strength because we are at an area of support, but we also want to see what are we looking forward to in regards to a reversal and for things to start looking bullish again. And then secondly, we're going to be doing the order flow distribution. We want to know, were there any large scale orders that were coming through today in OCGN? When we see these large scale orders, it tells us that institutions are getting involved. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going over the final thoughts and as well as some more key details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.82, being down 1.73%. On the low, it tested $6.78, and then on the high, testing $7.08. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 10.848 million shares. As far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it's usually around 17.588 million. So we did have lower volume than usual, but do keep in mind, I feel OCGN still continue to have a strong day regardless of being down. When we take a look at the RSI down below, we are still in that oversold territory, being at 44.48. When we take a look at the indicators on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, we are below the 100-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So the first thing that we also want to take a look at the fact is support. So as far as where we close at 682, we've already established that OCGN does have support in this mid $6.70 range, so around 675, 677, and so forth. So the fact that we closed above it, that is something that is great to see. If we end up having another pullback, we also do know we do have some support right around the 630s and the 650s and so on, and of course that strong support being here right around $6. So one thing I want to look forward to in regards to reversal on OCGN, I'd like to see it come back to reclaim the 21-day EMA at $7.26. Now that we are below 7, of course 7 becomes a psychological area. We did get to 708 before being hit with some selling pressure, so that is one thing to also keep in mind of the fact, especially going into tomorrow. So I want to see a retest going back into the 7s. We can get above that 21-day EMA, and if we could just stay in the 7s, hey, that would be the most preferable, because at least we can look forward to seeing that move getting to the $8 range before we hit another area of resistance, which we will see at 8, and especially here at 821, right where we have the 100-day as well. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow we have 13,775, and on the outflow we have 15,107. So we had 0 on the large, 9,400 on the medium, and we also had 4,375 on the small. As far as for the outflow side, we had 1,331, and as far as on the medium, we had 9,012, and as far as for the small, we had 4,764. And then keep in mind, this is in kilo USD. And large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see here for July the 26th, ended up being 1,330.79. So it was an outflow day for OCGN. But do keep in mind, this wasn't in the millions whatsoever. And we already noticed, due to the fact, as far as the volume was concerned, hey, we didn't have a ton of it. So just taking everything into consideration here, I feel OCGN still showed some strength today. So it'll be very interesting interesting to see how it actually does as this week progresses. But I feel as long as we hang on those areas of support, which we've talked about many times on the channel, I think this stock should be able to actually hold itself up, especially being above that $6 level. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, you know what? Before we get started, I'm actually going to read a piece of the article where OCGN got its price target upgrade, and let's just get into it right now. With large parts of the population still unvaccinated, Laboye, who's the analyst, thinks the vaccine could be an appealing choice to many. We see its manufacture through the older established whole-killed virus technology rather than through the newer methods using messenger RNA as a point that may overcome hesitation to be vaccinated, the five-star analyst said. The combination of efficacy, safety, and ease of distribution should make it a viable competitor for continued vaccinations and long-term protection. So this is definitely a great piece for OCGN. I think this gives it a lot of publicity, especially coming from a five-star analyst who gave OCGN a price target of $15 a share. So for anyone who's been holding and has been patient, I'm telling you right now, this is why it's important to have high conviction. Yes, we're seeing a lot of volatility right now, but we do need to understand as far as this play, it takes patience, especially since as far as for covaxin is concerned, they have to have trials on US soil. This is going to take some time. So if you have the patience, then it could definitely pay off. And it's part of the reasons why this analyst in particular is very bullish. And on top of that, he has a very good track record. And to put that in perspective, I think he's ranked 438 out of 7,600 analysts. So when he puts out the word, it carries a lot of weight. So now, as far as for the short interest information is concerned, when I was putting this video together, I did not see the updated numbers on Fintel as of yet. But one thing I do know for sure, OCGN will continue to have short squeeze potential because there's a lot of shorts who are vested in this play, and we've been seeing this for quite some time. Also, I want to address some of the FUD that is going on in the media. We already know as far as Bharat Biotech, Brazil, there's a lot of news all over online about this particular situation. But what we need to focus on is on OCGN. OCGN, it is their job to actually get covaxin into America and as well as Canada. So they just need to actually fulfill those obligations on their end. And as far as Bharat Biotech is concerned, all of those hiccups that are going on, I would just personally ignore it. Unless we get something that is really devastating, I feel like it deserves no attention whatsoever. And in regards to the lawsuits, I know I get questions about that as well. That's even more FUD overall in general, just a bunch of law firms trying to bring some attention to themselves, gain some business, and so on. And part of the reasons why I really hate this particular tactic, at the end of the day, for shareholders, they don't really receive much, especially when it comes to these lawsuits, all right? Most of the money actually goes to the attorneys. So that's why it's in their best interest to put out as much FUD out there and say, well, you know what, lawsuit, 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 because it just benefits them overall in their own personal interest. So that's just one thing I want you guys to be aware of. So for the most part, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, let's see what Ocugen does for the rest of this week.